Hi, I'm Owen Pemberton, design engineer at Norco Bikes. I'm here today to talk to you about the new 2012 Norco Aurum. The Aurum is a new bike for Norco for 2012. It's a ground-up redesign, it's a brand new platform, and I'd like to show you some of the features of it today. We start at the rear end of the bike. An important feature for any downhill bike is suspension performance. With our advanced ride technology on this bike, we have a much more rearward axle path to help take square edge hits and really travel, keep your speed through the rough stuff. It's got a much more progressive leverage curve, happening to be super supple at the beginning of the stroke and give you that bottomless feel that everyone's always looking for. We've also dialed in quite a high amount of chain growth, and what this chain growth is anti-squat characteristics. This helps the bike pedal. Not usually what people see as a big advantage for a downhill bike, but when you think about it, you want to accelerate extremely fast. This bike does it. Another standout feature of this bike is the braking performance. We've managed to improve on braking performance of this bike. This really helps you keep speed in the rough stuff. Just when you want to slow down, you've got that traction so you can leave your braking later. By using advanced tube forming techniques and forging techniques, we've managed to create an extremely strong frame. We're confident it's the strongest frame we've ever created, yet it still weighs in at 7.5 pounds. This means a full bike weighs between 36 pounds and 39 pounds. So if we take a look at the structure of the frame, you'll see a short tapered head tube at the front. This is 110 millimeters on all sizes, allows people to dial in their bar height exactly as they need them. It also allows us to create an incredibly strong and stiff front end to the bike. Carrying on with that theme, the stiffness, we have the hollow form link arms, a feature you'll see on all of our new Norco bikes. And this helps really isolate the shock in the rear end of the bike from twisting torsional forces. When we get to the back end of the bike, we have the Synthase axle system. This is a development of the Synthase 135 plus axle system. This is actually the 150 plus. So this gives all the advantages of a 150 wheel with the improved advantages of the Synthase system we've been using on our bikes for a year or so now. You couple that in with the post-mount rear brake. We have our integrated dropout system, which you see on all of our bikes, which includes the post-mount, the Synthase axle, like I said earlier, the lower bearing for the horse link pivot, and also gussets there to keep the rear end of the bike extremely strong and stiff. You can see when you look closely at the bike, all the hardware on this bike is custom proprietary stainless steel hardware. It's keyed into the frame, so you only have to use one Allen key to give your bike a bolt check before hitting the trail. Other neat little features, we have an integrated seat post clamp. It's a nice slim line, it's a lightweight design, but it also helps us to fully support the seat tube as there is no slot there for a standard seat post clamp. At the front end of the bike we have integrated bump stops. These give a slightly increased turning radius and also means that they're always in their position right when you need them. Yes, this bike has been in development for a long time now. We've been developing it in conjunction with the Dirt Norco race team. So our professional riders, Ben Reed and Dan Stanbridge, and they've been riding this bike on the World Cup circuit. When we first started to look at the development of this bike, I asked them to give me their ideal geometry. And at first, it seemed to me like they were after different things. They were both asking for different rear centre lengths and different front centre lengths. When I looked into it a bit further, I realised what they were actually asking for was the same ride characteristics. It was just the same thing scaled up for their different heights. Now this got me thinking, this is a very important thing to have on a bike. The rear centre length when you're stood out of the saddle really affects where your centre of gravity is above the rear wheel, and for downhill riding, for the optimum performance, this is a huge factor. So what we have done, we've managed to incorporate this into our new bike, and you'll see in the sizing range, the small bike has a rear centre or effective chainstay length of 420 millimeters, the medium has a rear centre length of 425 millimeters, and the large has a rear centre length of 430 millimeters. So they're all very aggressive, short rear ends. We match this up with a longer reach on the front of the bike, but this really gives the bike a lively, snappy feel, and it means any height rider doesn't experience any compromise. So there we have it, that's the Norco Aurum. Gravity Tune is only available on the 2012 Norco Aurum. This is a fast, lively, aggressive, full-on, World Cup proven downhill race bike. If you want any more information, please go to norco.com.